Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to our channel, your trusted source for thoughtful explorations into the intricate world of royal life and the unfolding dramas that continue to captivate audiences around the globe. Today, we turn our attention to a matter that is both sensitive and deeply concerning, one that centers on His Royal Highness, Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. We now stand on the brink of a development that could once again cast a long and potentially very dark shadow over Buckingham Palace and the monarchy itself, the impending release of a highly anticipated and by all accounts, deeply personal memoir. Before we embark on this in-depth discussion, may I kindly ask you to take a moment to like this video if you find our analyses insightful, and to subscribe to our channel for continued updates on the world's most enduring royal families. Your support truly helps us bring you these detailed, well-researched reports. Now, within royal circles, already strained by recent challenges and transitions, the atmosphere has reportedly grown tense behind the palace walls. A flurry of activity is said to be underway. Prince Andrew's closest advisors, along with a small team of strategists, are allegedly engaged in a high-stakes effort to secure an advance copy of a forthcoming memoir, one that threatens to unleash a fresh wave of controversy and potentially devastating revelations. This, however, is no ordinary book. It is a posthumous publication from Virginia Giuffre, a name that has become inextricably tied to one of the most infamous and troubling scandals of our time, the Jeffrey Epstein affair. For those less familiar with the full scope of this tragic and complex story, Virginia Giuffre was among the courageous individuals who came forward as victims of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Crucially, she also accused the Duke of York of sexual assault, allegations that Prince Andrew has repeatedly and vehemently denied. These claims led to a civil lawsuit in the United States, which ultimately concluded in an out-of-court settlement. While the precise terms were never disclosed, reports at the time suggested that the financial implications were substantial. Now, with the release date of Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice, set for October the 21st, an undeniable sense of apprehension has gripped the royal household. A posthumous memoir, by its very nature, carries immense weight. It represents a final, unfiltered account, a voice speaking without fear, without constraint, and without the possibility of retraction. Amazon, the global retail platform, has described the forthcoming book as intimate, fierce, and unforgettable. Such words suggest a narrative that will be raw, deeply personal, and likely unflinching in its portrayal of trauma, survival, and confrontation. According to early descriptions, the memoir tells the story of an ordinary young girl who faced extraordinary darkness and emerged determined to seek justice. Imagine, then, the growing sense of unease within the royal family. A publication of this nature, written by a central figure in one of the monarchy's most painful and damaging controversies, could not come at a more delicate time, as the royal family continues its efforts to maintain stability, dignity, and public trust. This looming release threatens to reopen old wounds and reignite scrutiny that Buckingham Palace has worked tirelessly to contain. Even without knowing its exact contents, the potential implications are profound. For Prince Andrew, it could mean renewed public outrage, and for the institution of the crown, yet another test of its resilience under the weight of scandal and memory. According to a recent column by the esteemed Ephraim Hardcastle in the Daily Mail, a publication long regarded for its sharp insights into royal affairs, Prince Andrew's aides are now engaged in a desperate race against time. Their goal is not one of idle curiosity, but of calculated necessity. They are reportedly striving to obtain an advance copy of the upcoming memoir before its official release. A move driven by strategy, not intrigue. Their mission is clear: to understand, in full, the nature and scope of the revelations contained within the pages of this book. Why is this so vital? Because, in matters of reputation, foreknowledge is power. Possessing that knowledge grants precious time to prepare responses, to anticipate public reaction, to coordinate statements, and to implement a defense before the memoir reaches the hands of the global press. In the high-stakes arena of royal image management, such preparation can mean the difference between containment and catastrophe. The phrase, "humiliating for Andrew," as cited in the report, underscores the gravity of what is anticipated. It suggests that the memoir may not merely revisit uncomfortable truths, but could unearth new details, revelations capable of inflicting further damage on the Duke's already fragile public standing. The reported methods being employed by those within Prince Andrew's circle are, in themselves, revealing. The Daily Mail column described a scene that feels almost cinematic: trusted allies quietly approaching a discreet bookshop near Buckingham Palace, hoping to persuade someone within to slip an early copy of the controversial memoir to an intermediary a day or two before the official release. It paints the image of a covert, behind-the-scenes operation, one rooted in secrecy and urgency. Why, one might ask, a bookshop near Buckingham Palace? Perhaps it's a matter of convenience, perhaps of trust, or even of long-standing personal connections cultivated over time. Whatever the reason, the choice hints at an effort to keep this mission close to the royal epicenter, minimizing exposure and maximizing control. The very notion of slipping a copy speaks volumes about the anxiety coursing through Andrew's camp. It is an act born of desperation, a bid to seize even a few hours' advantage in what could soon become a media firestorm. For any bookseller to risk such a move would be bold, even perilous. Yet the potential incentives or pressures at play must be significant for the possibility to even be entertained. Meanwhile, for the monarchy itself, this looming publication represents yet another major headache. A problem King Charles III could scarcely have wished for at this stage of his reign. Still relatively early in his tenure as sovereign, the king has been striving to shape a more modern, streamlined institution, one that reflects contemporary values while maintaining its centuries-old dignity. And yet, the shadows of the past persist. This latest challenge arrives on the heels of another deeply unsettling revelation: the leaked email allegedly sent by Sarah, Duchess of York, to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. The disclosure of any correspondence between the Duchess and Epstein, even after his criminal convictions, sent shockwaves through both the public and the palace. It reignited uncomfortable questions about judgment, accountability, and the lingering connections that some royal figures appear to maintain with one of the most reviled men of the modern age. Although the full contents of that email remain undisclosed, its very existence was enough to reignite outrage. For a public already weary of scandal, patience appears to be wearing dangerously thin. Indeed, following the email leak, calls have grown louder, from both the public and commentators, demanding that the Duke and Duchess of York be permanently barred from any public-facing royal engagements. This is no small matter. Public engagement lies at the very heart of the monarchy's purpose. It is through these appearances, these gestures of visibility and service, that the royal family connects with the people it represents and justifies its relevance in the 21st century. To see that bond threatened, and by controversy of this nature, is deeply troubling, not only for Prince Andrew but for the monarchy's standing as a whole. To be excluded from royal duties is in many ways to be stripped of one's very purpose within the monarchy. For a royal, public service is not just tradition, it is identity for Prince Andrew, who already stepped back from public life following the fallout from his now infamous BBC Newsnight interview and the subsequent allegations brought forward by Virginia Giuffre. This exclusion only deepens his isolation. And for Sarah, Duchess of York, who has long sought to reinvent herself and gradually re-establish a more visible role alongside the royal family, these new controversies present an almost insurmountable obstacle. The cumulative effect of these intertwined events, the ongoing scrutiny surrounding Prince Andrew, the recently leaked email involving Sarah Ferguson, and now the imminent publication of Virginia Giuffre's memoir, has created nothing short of a perfect storm for King Charles III. He now faces one of the most delicate and unenviable tasks of his reign, managing these deeply personal family crises while simultaneously protecting the reputation and stability of the crown. Every new revelation, every renewed call for accountability, chips away at the carefully cultivated image of the monarchy, particularly in an era when public scrutiny is more intense than ever, and the demand for transparency no longer allows for silence or secrecy. What does this mean for the future? Throughout its long and storied history, the British royal family has endured countless challenges, scandals, divorces, abdications, and tragedies, and has, time and again, managed to survive. Yet this modern era presents an entirely new kind of test. With the rise of global media, instantaneous communication, In a world increasingly conscious of social justice and accountability, the monarchy can no longer rely solely on tradition to maintain its moral authority. The themes at the heart of Virginia Giuffre's memoir, survival, abuse, and the pursuit of justice, strike a profound chord in today's society. If the book contains new revelations, or even renewed emotional accounts, the royal family's response will be pivotal. It will not only shape Prince Andrew's already fragile future, one that seems increasingly devoid of any realistic path back to public life, but also influence how the monarchy itself is perceived by a public that expects both heritage and honesty, both dignity and accountability. This unfolding situation offers much to reflect upon: the fragile balance between personal lives and public duty, between royal privacy and public trust, and, ultimately, the enduring power of truth, even when it emerges posthumously. As the days count down toward October the 21st, tension is mounting within the hallowed walls of the palace. Behind the scenes, there will no doubt be careful planning, strategic communication, and perhaps even last-minute appeals for control over the narrative. But one thing is certain: the world will be watching, waiting to see how the next chapter in this ever-evolving royal story unfolds, and how the monarchy will once again respond to a challenge that could reshape its legacy. What are your thoughts on this developing situation? Do you believe Prince Andrew's team will succeed in obtaining an advance copy of the memoir? And what impact do you think this book will have on the royal family as a whole? We'd love to hear your insights in the comments section below. Your perspectives always enrich our discussions. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth royal updates, and join us again as we continue to explore the fascinating and often turbulent world of the British monarchy. Thank you for watching.